So yeah, basically we've had the car now for just over a week, and as you'd expect, within that week you're gonna have a good idea of what's good about the car and what's not so good. Initially, in those first 24 hours, it was very, on my part and my wife to some degree, very negative. And I think a lot of it was the fact that we've spent, in my opinion, such a lot of money on this car that you expect everything to be top end stuff, you know. But unfortunately, it's not that type of vehicle. You're spending a lot of money, but you know, this is not a BMW, this is not a Mercedes, this is a Nissan, and not, in fairness, not a very good Nissan at that. These were our initial feelings. You know, if you go to, we don't do this very often because we try to spend as little money as we can. So we don't go to fancy places to eat. You know, we've got four children, 2 young children, to older children. So we try to, basically, we don't eat at fancy places. You know, to us, McDonald's is a treat. So, you know, we go to McDonald's and we pay £5 or £6 for a meal, you know, and the fries are cold or the burgers slung in the box. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's cheap food. But say we had gone to some fancy restaurant, which is a very rare occasion, but say we had, and we paid £25 for a burger and fries, and that burger wasn't right, the fries were cold, then you would have right to grumble and a right to be unhappy. And I think that's the key difference with this car, is this is not a £10,000 van. It's not a £15,000 van. This is a £30,000 van. Now we've financed this through various means, but you've got to take a step back and think, well, look, this is not about the purchase price of this van. This is about how much money are we going to save in 5, 6, and you know, 7 years, who knows, 10 years, who knows. I mean, the previous car we had, it was a Hyundai i800. It's an 8-seat van, which is perfect for work, perfect for the family, and we were very attached to that van. And you know, we all get attached to things. You know, we drive around in the same van, the same car for 6.5, 7 years as we had, or 6+ years. And you do get attached to things, and we've seen our kids grow up in that van. Seen them from babies growing up to be older children. We've been everywhere. We've been camping in that van. We've tugged a huge caravan on the back of the thing, and there's a lot of memories, a lot of emotional attachment to that car. So once we'd spent the money on this car, and in that first 2 days of owning it and driving around just locally, you know, we spent a lot of money on this thing. So we're expecting it to be as an equal to the i800 van, which frankly, and I'll be honest, the reviews on that when we got that van, the reviews were very poor. And well, yeah, you know, it's people were saying, look, this is just a van. This is the Hyundai. It's just a van. It's not a. Don't expect it to be a luxury vehicle. But that car had a lot of things that this car just doesn't have. And I think when you're spending £30,000 plus, we didn't. But yeah, if somebody wants to go in and pay list price for this, you know, you'd expect just some nice things. You know, cars nowadays, you know, we're not in the 1980s. These things that most cars have, like auto dimming, rear view mirror, I mean, come on, it must cost £12, £10, and it's just got some, you know, a basic plain mirror. It doesn't even have the little toggle thing that was popular in the 70s. You know, what kind of money saving is Nissan trying to employ to save £10 here on a 30 whatever £1,000 this, you know, 32,000 pound car? And then the likes of there's no mirrors on the visors, you know. So I'm just gonna go through all the niggles, all the things that really was like, come on. I know, because we didn't have many details on this car. Not many details. The brochure's still to be released on this 40 kilowatt hour. Meant to be released in June, still not there on the website. But yeah, so we're just looking at that. So there's no mirrors on the visors, not even a basic mirror. I'm not even talking an illuminated mirror like what we had in our Hyundai. And in the Hyundai, we had illuminated mirrors, both visors. We had the rear view mirror had the auto dimming, which my last 3 cars have had. You know, it's just, one of them was Renault, one was a Nissan, 2 of them were Nissans with the same thing. You know, it's just beyond me why that's not there. And then looking around the vehicle, you know, you've got your interior lights that look so cheap. You know, there's been no expense no expense spared. Is not the method of construction on this van. It is really cheaply made. You know, technology of lithium batteries and electric motors aside, this is a cheap van, and I'm sure if you got the van version of this, it's going to be on a level par with the basic van. I mean, as you look around, I mean, it has got some things which perhaps the van and lower spec versions of this car don't have. Now, this is the Evalia. This is meant to be the top of the range of this vehicle, the top of the range. I've just turned the aircon down. It is warm in the car today, but you know, this is the top of the range, and it doesn't have a rear view mirror with auto dimming. It doesn't have mirrors on the visors. I'm getting stuck on that, I know, but there are other things. You know, I mean, you look at the carpets in this car, and I have not been in a car that I can think in my living memory or my ownership of vehicles that has carpets like this. They are so thin, and you look right where the seat mounts are on the rear seats, and indeed the front seats, and the carpet is cut around the seats. I mean, what manufacturer does that? I'm sure Nissan. I've had Nissans in the past. We've driven Nissans in the last few weeks that we've had lent to us by the dealer. You know, and usually the idea is that the underlay goes in, or if it's a composite thing, and the underlay and the soundproofing and the carpet is all moulded together, that goes in first, and then there's holes in there whereby your bolts go through to bolt chairs to the floor, seats to the floor, whatever else it is. But in this, no, everything is cut. The carpet's cut around the fixings with some tiny little holes punched in to stop it tearing. So for now, I had some carpet in the shed, which in the Hyundai, in the van i800, we would take out some of the seats when we went camping. And I got myself a piece of very good quality car carpet, and I cut it exactly to the shape of the existing floor, and I had it all under the trim, and you would never have known that that's not the way the car came from the factory for those couple of weeks of holiday. Now, here I am, so I've had to take that piece of carpet and I've cut it just to protect the carpet in this car, because it's so cheap and thin looking, which again, for such an expensive car, I mean, surely that should not be like that. It should be like any other car, carpet in and seats on top, not cut around the fittings. So what else have I got to moan about? You know, basically the car is the same as the 24 kilowatt. It's absolutely, other than the sat-nav, which I believe is from the 30 kilowatt Leaf, everything is the same. And under my driver's seat there is a 12 volt power socket, which frankly, I mean, this, you know, it's 2018, you know, kids have tablets, you know, they want power to these things. So we were very lucky that power socket is there under the seat, because, you know, other than I mean, I've already done this. I've had to use adapters and run cables under this carpet, which I've put in. I've chopped up this old carpet to protect the floor. I've run a cable under there to get it into the boot. So basically, I can run my camera on the back. I've got camera in the front, camera in the back, and yeah. So it's not, because you get idiots like that. You know, you've got to protect yourself against the crazy people. But so there we go. So lots of negatives. Lots of things in the other car that we had, which was meant to be a basic van. The Hyundai was meant to be so basic, so rubbish in the reviews, but it wasn't. It was such a good van, and there is that element of, you know, you sort of pining for your lost van. But at the end of the day, look, this is a brand new car, and obviously that comes with the 5-year warranty now, which is, I think, increased from the original 3. It's got I'm just yanking my glasses off. It's got a 10-year warranty on the battery against whatever it is, the 2-bar degradation or something. So we know we're covered for 5 years on the car, hopefully, and 10 years on the battery, and that is our plan. That's our long-term plan, to keep this that long. So most of the mileage that we do is business mileage. Well, 3/4 is business mileage. So we do a lot of miles, and in the van I calculated how much money, and it was only a rough guess, you know, it was a ballpark figure, how much money we had spent on diesel in 6 years, and it was thousands of pounds. If you sit down and work it out, I mean, conservatively, absolutely conservatively, business mileage alone, £200 a month, diesel, 2,400 a year. You know, it soon adds up, and then of course you've got your holiday time and weekend time, whatever, visiting the shops, visiting parents, visiting family. It all adds up, so you spend a crazy amount of money, and I suppose this is the reason why this car can be pitched at such a ridiculously high price, because the customer, us, we got to look at it and say, well, look, we're going to save X number of thousand over a 5-year period, and that's the only way that this car becomes a viable concept, because without the government 4,500 off and whatever else was on the home wall charger thing, which is another story. But what I'm saying is, without that 4,500, that this car just would not be viable as a proposition for your average family. You know, I mean, at the minute, the money that we're spending on the finance is pretty much the money that we would have spent on diesel, MOTs, servicing costs. I mean, on the Hyundai i800, we're looking sometimes £450 for an annual service, which I always went to the main dealer. I didn't want to have any arguments with regards to the warranty, and in real honesty, Hyundai could not have been better in terms of fixing problems that we had under warranty. Very, very few problems, but when a problem arose, they fixed that. No arguments. Just did it. And I'm hoping that if we have problems with this car, I hope Nissan do exactly the same, because it's a lot of money. £30,000 is a lot of money to most people. It's more than I spent on my first house, frankly. But like I said, with the sums to us add up. The money we're spending on this is, you know, basically the money we'd spend on fuel, road tax, and like I say, servicing. So that's where we were initially, all very negative. You know, we haven't got this, we haven't got that, why has it not got this, you know. that's the way we felt, and we was a little disappointed because basically the shine had wore off very quickly when we was sitting in the car thinking, whoa, this is not. And I know we knew already that this is not a luxury vehicle. It is not by any stretch of the imagination. This is not a luxury vehicle. A luxury price, but not a luxury vehicle. So our thinking on this car over the coming days did change, and since we've done a lot of mileage round town for business, and we've also, as you'll have seen from the video that's up there already, we went across to Liverpool and then into North Wales and then back to Hull, and bit by bit the car has grown on us. You know, we're starting to think, you know what, this is not, it's not a big mistake. We've not made an almighty mistake, because the silly things aside, the missing mirrors, the carpet, honest, I had a long list, which right now, I should have wrote the list down, but I don't want to bore anybody with this list of negatives. The positives about this car is that it's got to be down to the cost savings. It really does, because as I said, without those cost savings, then this car is not, in my opinion, it's not viable. You know, we didn't buy the car because we want to save the planet, but that is just you know, it's a byproduct of buying this car. You know, and it's just like any of these things. One individual driving around in an electric car, or 3,000, 10,000 individuals in the UK, whatever the figure is for EV sales in the last sort of 5 years, 17,000, 20,000, who knows? It's a drop in the ocean, and it's not going to have affected the air quality in this country whatsoever. So, you know, I'm not kidding myself. We're not trying to be eco warriors. We're trying to have a car that's reliable, does what we want it to do, gets us to work. Sorry, not gets us to work. It works out for us with regards to our business, and that it works out for us as a family. And I think this car will. We know that around town this car is great. It's small, much smaller than the thing that we had previously. It was difficult. Not difficult in terms of having the ability to park it, but it was difficult in terms of the sheer size of the thing. It was much bigger than this. So we do feel right now our minds are adjusting. Sometimes I get in this thing, and it looks like a dinky toy to me. But you know, we've lost one seat. We've got 7 seats still. We've lost a lot of boot space, but it's in a class of its own, in that this is, as everybody knows, this is the only electric van available. So this is the route we went down. I did feel we was making the right decision, and despite those initial disappointments when we picked it up, I think we have made the right decision, and that will be that long term that we save thousands of pounds, despite the initial, despite the price of the van. We will save the money overall. It will get us to places, albeit, you know, long distances. It will get us there, but everybody knows the hassles. We knew this going in, and people have said, well, how can you put up with having to travel and stop every 80 miles or whatever it is to rapid charge? You know, but at the end of the day, we've got to adjust to that, and that's the way it is. We've got to adjust to the lower speeds of driving, and I think we've done a good job. I mean, me personally, I've gone from wanting to do 80 miles an hour plus to tootling along at 55 and 65. But yeah, so right now the car, I've had it cleaned today. A lot of splats on the car, insect splats and general grime. So it's looking nice today. So, but you know, I've gone round with the camcorder. Maybe I've been showing you the video whilst I've been rambling on. But yeah, so overall there are a lot of positives, and I think those positives are going to come out and make themselves apparent the longer we own this vehicle. Yeah, I think they will. Sorry, I'm just looking at the screen and realizing that in our other car we had TV, digital TV in there, which was something I put in, which isn't possible in this car. There's no video input into the back of this screen, which is it's what it is. I can't change that. I can't add anything to that. So yeah, a period of adjustment, going from what we had, but we have to focus on the positives, which is the money that we'll save. The fact is, we've got a brand new car, which, fingers crossed, this thing should be super reliable, and if it's not, it's got that Nissan warranty, hopefully to sort out any issues should they arise. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. There's not an awful lot to say. Disappointments. This is not a Nissan Leaf. We had drove it probably spoilt us a bit. We had drove the 2018 Nissan Leaf, and it did. It's a nice car. It's compact, but it's got a lot of nice features, and Pro Pilot, parking assist, all these things. You could say the gimmicks, but I think the worthwhile additions to that electric car. The practicalities of adding Pro Pilot to this car, I'm sure it would have been relatively easy. Different head unit, couple of cameras in the wing mirrors, but whatever. We knew what we was getting into. We knew this was not going to be a brand new vehicle. We knew in terms of a new design. We knew this was going to be exactly the same. The very, very sparse information we had, we knew it was going to be the same as the 24 kilowatt, which it is pretty much, apart from the 30 kilowatt Leaf head unit. So yeah, it is what it is. We do like it. I don't want to sound overly negative, but there are things that I'm not happy with, but I'm going to take the seats out the back of this thing, and I'm going to get some very nice carpet, and it's going to be fitted so nice that you'll never know it wasn't factory fitted. And that is just to protect my investment, because I personally don't see those carpets in the back lasting 5 years. I really don't see that. But for this Evalia, the niceties in this car, which in most cars are just basic things, like the plastic panels on the sliding doors, the plastic panels in the back of the car. Now I know, looking at James in Japan, his 3-year-old, I think it is e-NV, the 24 kilowatt, he's got all these panels, and I know that there's a lot of UK spec vans like this that have no panels, and it's like just like a panel van in the back, which was something that, not sounding snobby, that's not, we didn't want that. But even so, when we got into, because we bought this car unseen, when we got into the back of the thing and we saw the tailgate has no plastic panel like in James' version of his van in Japan, not meaning to rhyme, and in the back of this, it's a piece of hardboard with a bit of fuzzy felt on there and some pressed stud things holding the thing in. I mean, again, come on, Nissan. What are you trying to do? I mean, how are you saving money? A £30 piece of plastic at the very most, just on the back, just to finish the car off. But there you go. We're very grateful to have this car. We're grateful for everything we have in life. There are people in the world that are, today, right now, are starving. It's wrong, and these are first world problems. I'm not some kind of unfeeling person, and I understand saying these things. It sounds, in my brain, it sounds selfish, and it sounds ridiculous. But in the real world, when you've spent a lot of money and things are not, nowhere near as nice as the last car we had in terms of finishes, carpet, panels, all the rest of it. But it is what it is. We like I say, we will be getting around. We've got a few trips that were already pre-planned prior to getting this vehicle. and obviously we've got a bit more work now to get to wherever, these different places, but we'll do it. It'll be fun. Hopefully we'll make some more videos, get them online, and that's pretty much it. And I'm sure at some point there'll be some kind of more positives to say about the car. I really do think that it's just, you know, it's not a luxury car. It's not designed to be as frustrating as it is. That the finishes on the car internally are a bit crappy, if I'm honest. It's the way it is. And I've not taken any video of it, but on the outside of this thing and at the back of the running rails for the sliding doors, there's two plastic trim pieces which look like an afterthought. It looks like they're going to fall off. I've not videoed it specifically, but there's a big gap in both of them. I've tried to push them in. That's where they sit. They're not moving. That's where they're meant to be. But yeah, whatever. Whatever. Right, anyway, that's it for now. I've waffled on far too long. There will be lots more positive things to say about this car, which I'll add into the journey videos as and when we do them. But thanks for viewing. Thanks for having a look. I've tried to be as honest as I can. You know, there's always two sides to a story. People can see positives in various things, but when you've had a very basic van previously, and then you go to something very expensive, then you do become very critical over the sort of the cheapness, as it were, the cheapness aspect of the finishings. Anyway, thanks for viewing. Appreciate you looking. Give us a thumbs up, no thumbs downs, please. Come on, I'm doing my best here. Come on, more thumbs up. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.